Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews. It's been a couple of weeks since I reviewed anything, so today I'm going to be reviewing Bullet Train, which I saw today. I was going to see it a couple of weeks ago. There's a reason why I couldn't see it, and that was because my mother just wasn't the best, and she wasn't fit to get into the cinema and watch with me. So there's that. Right, that's as a side note. We had recliners. It was amazing. That stuff. It was a good experience. I liked the way we sat down and it was relaxing, and never really had recliners. VIP is a VIP thing, stuff like that. That aside, so basically, Bullet Train is a 2022 American action comedy film directed by David Leitch from a screenplay by Zach. If I might pronounce this wrong, Zach Olekowicz. Olkowicz is based on the 2010 novel Maria Beetle by Kōtarō Isaka. The film stars Brad Pitt as a former assassin who must battle fellow killers while riding a Kōtarō Shinkansen Hikari train. So I basically read that off of Google because I wanted to get the gist of the plot there. So as you saw there, this is based off a novel by a Japanese guy, because this is actually to do with Japanese stuff. It's got assassins in there. The villain is called the White Death. There's Tangerine, Orange. Ladybug is Brad Pitt's character. There's a few characters, and all of the characters are basically just assassins. And then the White Death, right? He's the reason why this whole Wataru. There's the guy called Wataru, and it's to do with and how the elder guy, this old Japanese guy, has to do is something to do like a family death and that kind of thing. And it's a backstory where this is why the White Death is such a villain, and there was this point where he had this devil looking mask on, and he's like this, right, he had the gun and he was just, and then there was the wolf, there was these assassins across the world, there was all kinds of stuff, blood all over the place. It's really, it feels kind of slapsticky, but unlike Thor Love and Thunder, right, this movie doesn't really do that thing of let's jokey joke, jokey joke, like, because there is points where this movie feels like an absolute cartoon, but it's not like let's just joke about death all the time. It's like, we'll just spare a few jokes, right? Let's just spare a few jokes, then we'll make you happy again, because there is blood and all that, but it makes it's that kind of funny where it's not annoying and overdone. It's like the funny feels like it's fitting there, because it is I'm assuming this is based off of something to do with just an over the top thing, because you have things where you get things so over the top they can be so hilarious when you get it there. So there's definitely that, right? That is the story behind Bullet Train, and it's this novel, and it's all of that kind of stuff. I think the movie itself is amazing. I definitely think you should go and watch this one, because, right, this is not groundbreaking by any means, right? It's got cliches, it's got a lot of things where you can sort of predict what's going to be said, so it's like, oh, the window, there's this, Brad Pitt says, the window of opportunity. Fate. Father must protect son, in the context of Wataru and the Elder, which is that Japanese storyline, which is actually played at the start of the movie, and it gives you that context behind stuff like that, because when I started watching the movie, right, I didn't really get it, right, just this Japanese guy really depressed, that's Wataru, and he's like that. But yeah, I do also think that the whole Japanese and the Americans coming together, it wasn't out of place, because it was set in Japan. It was already established that this was set in Japan, and when the characters when you see the characters' names pop up, there's Japanese like symbols which signifies that this is Japanese, this is in Japanese, and you can make the argument that why didn't this movie just be entirely in Japanese? But here's the thing. It goes from Japanese for the Japanese characters, and it goes from American for the American characters, but then there's a point where Brad Pitt, Ladybug, is like, konnichiwa desu, and that kind of thing. So there's that. The whole language stuff, I really don't mind that, and it is actually apparent that in a bullet train, right, it's a really fast train, and there's barely any Americans because it's usually a Japanese thing, but that doesn't affect it because the actors aren't actually that boring, and they're not just like, oh dude, we're in Japan and we're doing this and we're gonna try and contribute to this society. They're not. It's none of that cringe, right, where it's like, oh, let's try and fit into this, but it just doesn't feel right. And I'm glad it never really does that, because there's what Chris Goa of Film Threat Livecast is like, this doesn't make sense. There's just like, it's way too like, it feels like a graphic novel. It's just like really over the top, and it kind of is over the top. He said that, yeah, I don't get why there's this, because there's the whole cultural thing where it's like, oh, there's certain things that should have been done differently and that stuff. I don't care about it, right? Care a bit, because there is the whole multicultural thing and the diversity stuff like that, which it depends on the movie, right? If the diversity is actually decent, yeah, and it's not just like forcing it down your throat, I'm like giving it a thumbs up. But when it's that, and then it's the opposite, when it's the diversity that just forces it, which is why I like this movie, because it's not woke. It's definitely not a woke movie. Definitely is not woke at all. It's just fun action. Little bit of, romance, I guess you could say, with Sandra Bullock. And that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, like it's nothing like the Eternals, because that guy from the Eternals, right, he's nothing like he was in the Eternals, because, this director had a brain for once, right? The director of the Eternals really did not have a brain. The director, if I remember right, I do believe David Leitch, right? David Leitch, that guy, he had a brain and he sort of understood it, but this is not groundbreaking. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's a watchable movie, it's not insufferable. The guy from Eternals is not insufferable. He has an English accent as well, and there's the orange. He's like Tangino, whatever his name is, right? The few people who've been in tons of movies, right? And there's a guy from Percy Jackson, and there's this Russian character who is actually the son of the White Death, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed the review. We're gonna come at you with probably more reviews in the near future, because might do a Dragon Ball review, might do the other Tolkien books review in September, because I don't want to review Rings of Power. It comes out in like 2 weeks or whatever, dude. I'm not touching it. Alright, I'm not touching it. It's not my thing to touch. I don't want to cover it. I never covered anything to do with the trailers, so why should I cover it in the first place? So yeah, that's the bottom line. Your mileage may vary on this movie. If you like the movie, let me know that. If you disagree with this opinion, I don't really mind that. Right, this got 53 on Rotten Tomatoes. Doesn't really matter to me at all. Goodbye. Okay, this wasn't a train wreck. Bye. No pun intended. Bye.